Picture this: 13 small colonies daring to take on the most powerful empire in the world. Sounds impossible, right? Yet it happened when America rose to fight for independence. In the next 5 minutes, you'll see an epic David versus Goliath story that changed history forever. The stage was set in the 1760s. Britain had just finished an expensive war and needed money fast. Their solution? Tax the American colonies heavily. But here's the problem. Colonists had no voice in British Parliament. No taxation without representation became their battle cry. The first sparks flew in 1765 with the Stamp Act. Colonists had to pay taxes on every paper good. Newspapers, cards, legal documents. They weren't having it. Protests erupted everywhere. Britain backed down. But this was just the beginning of a storm. Then came the Tea Act of 1773. Britain handed the East India Company a monopoly on tea. Colonists saw it as another attack on their freedom. Their response? The Boston Tea Party. They dumped entire shipments into the harbor. King George was furious. He unleashed the Intolerable Acts of 1774. These laws closed Boston Harbor, let British officials be tried in England, and forced colonists to house soldiers. The message was clear: obey or face consequences. But instead of cowering, the colonies united. They formed the First Continental Congress in Philadelphia. 12 colonies sent representatives to join forces. They agreed to boycott British goods and prepare for conflict. The point of no return was approaching fast. April 19th, 1775 marked the moment everything changed. British soldiers marched to Lexington and Concord to seize colonial weapons. But the colonists were ready. Paul Revere and others had warned them the night before. Shots rang out at Lexington Green.
Bang!
Nobody knows who fired first, but those shots heard round the world started a revolution. The Second Continental Congress met in May 1775. They faced a crucial decision: negotiate peace or prepare for war. They chose both initially, sending the Olive Branch petition to King George while simultaneously creating the Continental Army, with George Washington as commander. King George rejected their peace offering. Now there was no going back. On July 4th, 1776, Congress approved the Declaration of Independence. Thomas Jefferson's powerful words declared that all men are created equal with unalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But declaring independence and winning it were two different battles. The early war went badly for Americans. Washington's army was poorly equipped and undertrained. They suffered devastating defeats in New York. Many soldiers deserted. The cause seemed hopeless. Then came the turning point. On Christmas night 1776, Washington made a desperate gamble. He led his freezing troops across the icy Delaware River and launched a surprise attack on Trenton. This bold move boosted morale and showed the world that America could fight. The real game changer happened at Saratoga in 1777. American forces surrounded and captured an entire British army under General Burgoyne. This stunning victory convinced France that America might actually win. France became America's crucial ally, providing weapons, ships, and soldiers. Spain and the Netherlands also joined against Britain. Suddenly, Britain faced enemies across multiple continents. The American Revolution had become a world war, stretching British resources thin. The war shifted south after 1778. British forces captured Savannah and Charleston, thinking Southern colonists would remain loyal. They were wrong. Guerrilla fighters like Francis Marion, the Swamp Fox, made life miserable for British troops with hit-and-run tactics. They struck at night, vanishing into the swamps before the British could respond. The British struggled against these elusive fighters who refused to play by the rules of traditional warfare. In the South, battles were smaller but vicious, fought in forests, swamps, and villages. Step by step, the British grip weakened as these relentless fighters bled them dry. By 1781, both sides were exhausted, but the British were stretched too thin. General Cornwallis moved his army to Yorktown, hoping the Royal Navy would protect him. But the French fleet defeated the British Navy and cut off their escape. Washington and the French army surrounded Yorktown by land. Cannon fire thundered day and night, tearing the British defenses apart. On October 19, 1781, Cornwallis surrendered. The American Revolution was won. A new nation was born, the United States of America. In 1783, the Treaty of Paris officially ended the war. Britain recognized the independence of the United States. The revolution inspired movements for liberty around the world. It proved that ordinary people could rise up against empires and win. The American Revolution was only the beginning. To be continued.